Hey everyone, this is the Millionaire Hippies podcast with your host, Boom Shikha, where we chat about spirituality, business, and health. We all want to live self-actualizing, fulfilling lives with joy, prosperity, and gratitude. Let's go on this beautiful journey together.
I wanted to talk to you guys about breath today. And I know it's something that's extremely basic. I mean, all of us breathe all day long. We're breathing thousands of times a day, a year, a month. And for some reason, we believe just because we're doing something a lot that we're good at it. We walk a lot, but a lot of us are completely inept at it because we're always falling, stumbling, just like me. I'm very clumsy and weird when I walk because I get distracted and I'm in my head. Just because we do something a lot doesn't mean we're good at it. Doesn't mean that we should stop doing it, obviously, but it means that we really need to pay more attention to it. And breath is something that has been brought up over and over and over again in all the different self-help books I read and all the different things I do as something to focus on, especially when you are going through a tough time. So if you're feeling a lot of fear, if you're feeling a lot of anxiety, if you're feeling a lot of doubt, the main thing to do is not to, feel those things as they are, but to bring breath into it. So deep breathing in and out. Coming back to the breath, feeling that breath inside of your body, feeling your diaphragm, feeling your stomach, feeling your back, feeling your heart, feeling your body as you breathe. Really inhaling deep and focusing on your breath coming into your body, and really exhaling deep and really feeling that breath leaving your body. The more conscious we can be while we're breathing, the more we're able to dispel all of that negativity, all that madness that surrounds us. It's really interesting because last night I was having a little bit of a difficult time with myself because I felt like I was overwhelmed by a lot of different things I was doing, and I felt like I should be doing more, I should be doing less, things like that, and I felt a little crazy in my head. And as I always do when I am in that mode, I go and reach out to someone. Luckily enough, one of my really good friends, Janie, who was in Chiang Mai, she messaged me back and she started talking about conscious breathing or conscious awareness dispelling negativity. And she said one of the main ways she does that is through breathing, breath work. Pranayama is one of the ways to actually do it as well. One of my main techniques is to do alternate nostril breathing, where you breathe in from one nostril, breathe out from the same nostril, and then close it up, and then breathe in from the other nostril and breathe out from the same nostril. So in, out, right? Instead of doing it as a whole. What that does is that it kind of balances out your left and right brain, because the right brain and the left brain, they're actually connected to two different parts of our brain. Sorry, the right and left nostril is connected to different parts of our brain. So when we breathe specifically from one nostril, it actually enhances that part of the brain, right? So if you want to actually enhance creativity, then start breathing with your left nostril a lot. Or if you want to enhance logic, then start breathing from your right nostril, things like that. So in that regard, I just really wanted to speak to you guys about what are you guys doing in order to bring more breath into your life. So how are you breathing? Now, and notice it right now. As you're sitting and watching this video, notice your breath. Notice how shallow it is. And that's just normal when we're actually going about our day and we're just moving around. We don't breathe as deeply as this, right? We're breathing in and out. We don't actually even notice it. Probably just in this area, the top area, the breath just goes here and comes out in and out and out. We don't actually engage our stomach. We don't actually engage our whole body. And that's normal. That's how it is when you're actually moving around the day. But be careful when you're actually going through a period where you actually need to be really, really careful with your breath. Notice your breath. So, for example, you're walking through your day and you're sitting in the subway station and someone starts yelling. Maybe they're mentally challenged. They start yelling. They start throwing things. All of a sudden, your fight-flight response goes into overdrive and your heart starts beating really, really fast. At that point, when you do realize that your body is going into that fight-or-flight response, when your sympathetic nervous system is really, really going fast, what you need to do is you need to take a deep breath. And it's actually really counterintuitive because at that point, most probably what we're going to start doing is breathing really shallowly and really fast. You know how it is? Like when we're really, really in like a situation where we're scared, we start breathing shallow and fast. What we need to do is slow ourselves down and start breathing really, really deep and slowly, really feeling that breath coming into your body. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you make that conscious awareness, as soon as you are conscious of your breath, the first 2 or 3 breaths is all you need in order to calm yourself down. It's that quick. It's seriously one of the best tools in order to calm yourself down in any situation. And it's really interesting. I was actually reading a book called The Big Leap by Gary Hendricks, I believe. And in that he said that fear is just excitement without the breath. And as soon as I read that, it clicked in my head that a lot of times when I'm going to do some public speaking, my heart is beating really fast and I'm really, really fearful. But if I just kind of change that thing in my head where I'm like thinking to myself, this is actually excitement. The only thing I'm not doing is breathing well, and that's the reason I feel fear. As soon as I can do that, and I've been able to do that in the past, that's the reason I've been doing a lot of live speaking engagements and actually feeling excited about them instead of fear, I just breathe. And that's all I need to do to convert that fear into excitement. The same thing happens with anger. When you're feeling anger, if you can just take a deep breath, you can convert that into determination or motivation. If you can do that, the same thing for anxiety. You can turn anxiety into maybe some kind of motivation. You know, there's a lot of like, it's interpretation mostly, right? Like, what are we doing with our emotions? We're interpreting them, that this is what I feel right now and that's bad. Or we can interpret it the other way around, like, this is what I'm feeling right now, but it's actually really good. It's going to make me go faster, make me go further, make me go better. You know, and I'm saying, I hope that makes sense to you guys. The reason I started doing these live videos is not because I think I'm special in any way or have anything really amazing to share. A lot of the stuff that I talk about is recycled, which is awesome. I mean, I rather recycle brilliant thinking of all the different coaches that I have through all the books that I read, rather than, you know, spew some nonsense. But the reason I started doing it because when I first started thinking about doing live videos or being in the public eye or performing for the public, basically this is kind of brief performance, I was scared. I had a lot of fear inside of me. And the more I speak to people on a regular basis, the more they say the same thing to me, that they're afraid of being in the public eye, they're afraid of performing, they're afraid of live videos. And I realized that if I didn't, again, keep on doing them and using my breath, using my talents and abilities to keep on growing as an individual, I would get stuck where I would not share myself in this public forum and I wouldn't progress as I wanted to progress. Now, I eventually want to be on stage and speaking to thousands of people. That's what my ultimate goal is. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen in this lifetime. I don't really care. It might not. That's not the point. The point is that I want to keep on doing this and keep on learning from it, right? But I'm not saying that I'm very good at it, because sometimes I'll do them and I'll stumble over my words and I hate myself and I hate what I'm saying and I don't know what I'm talking about and I feel like an imposter and I feel like I'm fake. I feel like I have no idea what I'm talking about. I feel like a fraud. All of that happens, and then what I do is I breathe. I breathe through it. A lot of times when we forget about the breath is when nonsensical bullshit, crazy mindfuck happens. Do you know what I'm saying? That's when we start making up all these crappy stories in our head about who we are and what we're doing and how we're not good enough and all of that stuff. All that stuff that all of us go through. None of us are immune to that. And if you think that all the people who are high up above us in terms of success, if you think they're not going through it, you're sorely mistaken. I promise you, every single person on this planet, no matter where they are, no matter what they do, feel like an imposter, right? They feel like a fraud at some point in their life. When we go through these difficult moments, when we're going through these moments when even reaching out to someone else is not going to help, when you're in this shitstorm, this shame storm, we feel like we're going to die. We feel like we're insane. When you're going through all of this stuff, the main thing we all need to do is come back to the breath. Come back to our body, come back to our breath. Deep, 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 deep breathing, as deep as possible. Just really, really feel that air that's around us, this breath is life, come into us and be released. And as long as you can do that in that moment, and it requires practice, obviously. A lot of times we're so deep into the storm that we can't think straight, and we're not able to bring ourselves back to the breath. At that point, obviously, you have to go and talk to someone else about it, and then they can actually tell you. Your good friends can tell you, you need to breathe, just relax, everything's fine, you're doing all right. And then as soon as they say that, you realize, oh my God, I've been holding my breath. I haven't been breathing properly. I've been breathing shallowly, or I've been holding my breath. I do that a lot, actually, in my own situations. When I actually go through a shit storm or a shame storm, I start holding my breath. And when I do that, I realize, oh my God, as soon as I realize I've been holding my breath, I realize that my body's tensing up, my shoulders hunch up, and I hunch over my heart. I'm protecting myself. All of that's fine. These are mechanisms, evolutionary-wise, that have been taught to us, are ingrained in us to kind of get through the day. And that's totally fine, but you need to come back to your breath. Actually want to kind of tattoo on my hand or somewhere on my forehead, breathe, because it's so important with everything that we're doing. As soon as you can breathe, you can trust the universe. As soon as you can breathe, you have faith. As soon as you can breathe, you calm down. As soon as you can breathe, you are in the moment. And as soon as you're in the moment, everything is perfection.
Thanks for listening. Go check out my website at themillionairehippie.com if you want more free, awesome content. If you really like the podcast, please consider giving me a 5-star review on iTunes. Until next time, namaste.